Absolutely horrific. Now, your parents were actually watching you on TV, and also your girlfriend. You've said your father was sports mad, but your mother from Portlaoise was always reluctant to watch. Now, they knew when they saw that things were serious. Now, your usual reaction when you fell was to get up quickly, but not this time. And Joanna was frantically calling your mobile, which was ringing in the weighing room, I believe. And the course doctor placed your helmet filled with blood down. Now, no one could face actually answering the call. Two critical decisions described in your book actually saved your life. What were they?
Yes, I mean, it was an extraordinary set of events. And so basically, when the helmet was taken back into the room, that metallic stench of death hung everywhere because of this blood dripping from my helmet. And at this point, I lay on the ground and I was being put on the stretcher by the paramedics. And one of the paramedics suspected I was bleeding from the brain. And he put his hand under my head, turning my head to the side, protecting me from smothering in my own blood. And that was the first decision that was made the difference between I living and dying. I'd had a seizure on the ground. On the way to the first hospital, which was 6 miles away, the Warrington Hospital, I had a second seizure. And at this point, what happens when I had the seizure, one side of my body lay completely motionless and the other side of my body jumped violently up and down off the bed. And that was the distress signals coming from the brain, that basically it couldn't facilitate the faculties of my body because of the blood, that the damage that was done to the brain. And at that point, they decided at Warrington Hospital, they didn't think I would live through an operation. The Walton Centre of Neurology, the best brain hospital in the country, was 26 miles away. They made a decision at Warrington very quickly to transfer me to Walton under a police escort on a life support machine. They got me to the hospital with every light the ambulance met going green. They got me to the hospital with 4 minutes to keep me alive on that life support machine.
Wow. Now, that was quite some going. Now, your brothers and your sister Geraldine got to the hospital in Liverpool. They decided your parents should be called for. Now, your father, feeling superstitious, didn't want to risk flying, and the length of the boat journey was to prove significant.
Yes, again, quite an extraordinary. I had been in theatre all night, and when I came out of theatre, they didn't think I would live the next 3 hours after the operation. If I did live the 3 hours after the operation, they suggested that I would have a 50-50 chance of survival for the 6 hours after that. And if I didn't survive at that point, well, it would be the end. And if I did survive, I would probably be very badly brain damaged and I may never come out of the coma. So they tried to revive me on 3 separate occasions and failed on every attempt. Wow. And on the last attempt, when they removed me from the life support machine and attached me to the wall oxygen, I just leaned forward in my coma and took a deep gasp. And they just reattached my life support machine, not knowing if I had died in that moment or not.
Right. Now, your injuries were severe, putting it mildly, but you didn't really make a great patient, and you were actually allowed out of hospital just 10 days after. I mean, were you in any fit state to leave hospital, and who did actually support you then?
Yes, it could be seen as being something of madness to do what I did, but I did what I had to do. I didn't believe there was anything wrong with me. I thought that whatever the situation was, I was going to execute myself from it. And the only way that I could stop feeling like a patient was to stop being a patient in my head. And I was allowed out of the hospital 10 days after my operation if I had a nurse 24 hours a day and if Joanna was going to be by my side to look after me, and that was a risk of such magnitude. It could not be measured against anything before or since. But
it sounds absolutely insane, to be honest. But I believe a remark that you overheard a friend make was the trigger for your recovery and your determination to ride again.
When I got home, I had lost 50% of my body weight, and I couldn't move my legs or my hands, and I was in a very, very bad state. And one day, a friend of mine, Ross Campbell, who had been in the weighing room on the day I had my accident, he hadn't had the courage to come and see me at the hospital. When he saw me at home, he was talking with Joanna in the kitchen, and I overheard him say, "He will never recover." And in that moment, just in that moment, it ignited the fight within me. The flames of power were illuminated. And in that moment, I decided I was going to try to do everything I could to get back to being normal. And from that moment on, I was going to stop at nothing.
Wow. Now, you not brushing over what you endured, you described the rehabilitation and coping with depression as crawling through a darkened tunnel filled with anger. Now, there's insufficient time really to do justice to your remarkable story. The book goes into great depth. Now, your co-writer was astonished to learn that you had actually blanked out an entire 4.5-year period. You credit her with painstakingly filling in the gaps with you. Has it added to the healing process to work with on Centaur?
Yes, it was quite an extraordinary event when I told her, when she'd already written 3 chapters of the book. When I told her I don't remember 4.5 years of my life, it was like as if somebody had told her there was a tsunami coming, get out of the way quickly. But her reaction and her resolve was quite incredible, how she worked thereafter with me. And in answer to your question, the experience for me has been the hardest experience I've ever put myself through, and that included my rehabilitation. Doing this book has been excruciating for me. I have cried a lot in the process of recreating a part of my life that I don't remember. And it has been cathartic for me. For the best part of it, the book was never done as a commercial exercise. In fact, I never wanted to do a book. And for the best part of doing the book, in my head, it was never going to be a book. It was just like therapy for me, if you like. And I think that is the beautiful thing about this book, is it's the organic feel that it was done with. It was just, it's a book that's been created from pure feel. And I think that's what's captivating, is the raw emotion comes through in the story.
Indeed. Now, your relationship with Joanna has become platonic. You're still friends, though, and I believe you're happily married, and the apple of your eye is a little daughter who is a lovely name. What is it? Yes,
my daughter Sienna is the light of my life, and I've got a wonderful wife, Salema, and Salema, my wife, is Spanish, and Sienna's Spanish. Well, she claims Spanish, half Irish, and she's. I'm very proud of her,
right,
quite immensely.
In racing, are the risks worth it?
When you are a professional sports person, you are never conscious of the risks involved, because so in control do you feel of the environment that you're in. You feel almost invincible. Hindsight is a great knowledge. Retrospect can be a dangerous thing. Could I do what I did, having suffered what I did? No, I could not. But then, when I was in the throes of it, nothing seemed impossible. I could do anything.
Indeed, and you certainly blazed a trail. And you're not involved in horse racing. I know you're involved in business now.
Yes, I had to recreate my own life, and it's a tough thing to have to recreate your own identity at the age of 28 and build your own life all over again.
Indeed.
And I've done that very successfully.
Now,
Thank God.
Claire Balding, major newspapers and media outlets have given 5-star reviews to your book. Now, you don't have to be a horse racing follower to appreciate this story. It's nothing short of miraculous. In Declan's own words, the only thing keeping me going was the belief that there would be this light at the end of the tunnel. Now, Father's Day is on the 17th of June, and Centaur, it's a bestseller, tipped by the Observer to be the sports book of the year. It'll be a great gift. It's available from good booksellers and Amazon. It's published by Doubleday. Declan, listen, thank you very much for telling us your amazing personal and powerful story.
It's been a great pleasure, Jerry.
And we will review next week and of the highly recommended Centaur. Declan, it's been a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you very much.